Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the National News Telecast. I'm Uvin Hettiarachi.
And I'm Ishainali. Let's have a look at the headlines for tonight.
Dr. Harini Amuria sworn in as Prime Minister. 15 ministries come under the Prime Minister and 2 ministers. Election Commissioner General says the general election will be held between 52 to 66 days upon the dissolution of Parliament. GP Sapatantri appointed Secretary to the Prime Minister. New secretaries for 15 ministries. International Monetary Fund pledges support to the new President. World leaders congratulate him. Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe not to contest in the general election. Sajid Premadas says he will be in the election fray. Government issues a notice on the danger of the Israel-Hamas war to Sri Lankans, a hotline for migrant workers in southern Lebanon.
On to those and other stories in detail, and your top story for tonight is parliamentarian Dr. Harini Amuria was named as the Prime Minister of the National People's Power Government and was sworn in today.
She was sworn in before President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake. The swearing-in ceremony was held at the Presidential Secretariat. Dr. Harini Amuria is the 16th Prime Minister of the country. She is also the 3rd female Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. Previously, late Srinivasa Bandaranaike and former President Chandrika Bandaranaike held the premiership. Born in 1970, Dr. Harini Amuria represented the National People's Power since 2019. She entered the parliament from the party Nationalist. She was the newly appointed Prime Minister. As a parliamentarian, raised her voice over the rights of women, children and Parliament during her tenure. She had served as the senior lecturer in the Social Sciences faculty of the Open University. She gained her doctorate in social anthropology from the University of Edinburgh. Various segments of the society admire the incumbent Prime Minister for raising her voice in the country on issues such as youth unemployment, gender equality and child protection, free education and equal opportunity for education.
මේ සියල්ලම එක තමයි අපිට කතා කරන්න වෙන්නේ. ප්‍රතිපත්ති ගැන ඉතින් වාඩි වෙලා අපිට සීතල කාමරයක ඉඳන් කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක යථාර්ථයට කොච්චර
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amuria said that she has to assume duties and then immediately dive into the work. Responding to a question raised by journalists, she said that most probably the parliament will be dissolved by the end of day. She thanked the nation for placing their trust on them and they will continue to uphold it. 16th Prime Minister of the country, Dr. Harini Amuria assumed her duties at the Prime Minister's office in Colombo this evening. She said that the incumbent government is ready to bring the change aspired by the people and requested the commitment and the cooperation of all to fulfill this aspiration. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amuria said that the immense amount of work remaining to be carried out in the near future, she said that she will receive the commitment and the cooperation of all in order to achieve these objectives.
And in the meantime, 3 ministers were appointed today for 15 cabinet posts. Out of them, 4 ministries are retained by the President and 5 have been entrusted with the Prime Minister. The rest 6 posts have been given to parliamentarian Vijita Herath, and the new ministers took their oaths in the presence of the President in this evening today. Ministry of Defence is kept under the President. This apart, the Ministries of Finance, Economic Development, National Policies, Tourism and Energy comes under the purview of the President. The President also holds the ministerial post of Agriculture, Land, Livestock, Irrigation, Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Dr. Harini Amuria, who took oath as Prime Minister, has been entrusted with the Ministries of Justice, Public Administration, Provincial Councils and Local Government and Labour. The Ministries of Education, Science and Technology, Women, Child and Youth Affairs and Sports will also be under the Prime Minister. In addition, Trade and Commerce, Food Security, Cooperative Development, Industries and Entrepreneur Development, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amuria was also sworn in as the Minister of Health. Vijitha Herat becomes the Buddha Religious and Cultural Affairs, National Integration, Social Security and Mass Media Minister in the present government. In addition, the Ministries of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation have been given to him. Vijitha Herat also holds the Membership of Public Security and Foreign Affairs. The Ministries of Environment, Wildlife, Forest Resources, Water Supply, Plantation and Community, Infrastructure Facilities, Rural and Urban Development, Housing and Construction will also be under Minister Vijitha Herat.
Prime Minister's Secretary, Secretaries of the Cabinet of Ministers and Secretaries of the new ministries were appointed today. GP Sapatantri has been appointed as the Secretary of the Prime Minister. WMJ DJ Fernando has been appointed as the Secretary of the Cabinet. The Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Highways and Port and Civil Aviation is KDS Ruan Chandra. KMM Surivardhana has been appointed as the Secretary of Ministry of Finance, Economic Development, National Policies and Planning and Tourism. Aruni Vijayavardhana has been appointed as the Secretary of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. JMT Jayasundara has been appointed as the Secretary of Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. The Secretary of Ministry of the Women, Child, Youth Affairs and Sports is KM Maheshan. MM Naimuddin is the Secretary of Ministry of Commerce, Trade, Food Security, Corporate Development, Industries and Entrepreneurship Development. AMPMB Atapattu has been appointed as Secretary of Ministry of Rural, Urban Development, Housing and Construction. Dr. Palitha Gunaratna Mahipala is the Secretary of Ministry of Health. The Secretary of Ministry of Justice, Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils, Local Government and Labour is WPP Yasaparatna. PK Prabhat Chandakirti has been appointed as the Secretary to the Ministry of Environment, Wildlife, Forest Resources, Water Supply, Plantation and Community Infrastructure Facilities. MPN Vikramasinghe is the Secretary of Ministries of Agriculture, Land, Livestock Resources, Irrigation, Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Secretary of Ministry of Defence is HHS Thuyakwanta. DWRB Sanviratna has been appointed as Secretary of Ministry of Public Security. KTM Udayantha Hayampala has been appointed as the Secretary of Ministry of Energy. Ranjit Aryaratna has been appointed as the Secretary of Ministry of Buddha Religious Cultural Affairs, National Irrigation, Social Insecurity and Mass Media.
International Monetary Fund says that it is looking forward to discuss the next review of the extended fund facility with the government led by incumbent President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. The IMF has indicated that the discussions will be directed on the third review of the IMF-supported program. International Monetary Fund, issuing a statement this morning, has indicated the future proceedings pertaining to the extended fund facility of Sri Lanka. The statement has indicated that the IMF is expecting to conduct discussions with the new administration of Sri Lanka. The IMF decided in August to consider the third review on the provision of $360 million following the presidential election. The statement has further indicated that the IMF is looking forward to working together with President Dissanayake and his administration towards building on the hard-won gains that helped put Sri Lanka on a path to economic recovery since entering one of its worst economic crises. The IMF has also welcomed the announcement of an agreement in principle between Sri Lanka and international bondholders, representatives subject to confirmation on comparability of treatment by Sri Lanka's official creditors committee, according to the statement. The IMF has extended $3 billion under the extensive fund facility, which will remain effective for 4 years to Sri Lanka for its economic recovery.
All-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange gained for the second consecutive day today. Both main indices marked the high gains at the end of day. The all-share price index was increased by 237.31 points, closed at 11,334.86 74.12 today. Meanwhile, the S&P SL20 index was increased by 74.59 points to close as 3,235.22. The market turnover was recorded at 2 billion rupees.
President Anurak Kumar Dissanayake called on Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, yesterday, and the President received blessings from the Archbishop during this visit. During his visit to the Archbishop's house in Colombo, the President inquired about His Eminence's well-being and engaged in a brief conversation. Auxiliary Bishops of Colombo, His Eminence Maxwell Silva and His Eminence J.D. Anthony were also present at this occasion.
ජනාධිපති ධූරයට පත්වෙච්ච අපේ අනුර කුමාර දිසානායක මහත්මයාට මම
Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit expressed his congratulations to President Anurak Kumar Dissanayake on his election as President, reflecting the will of the majority in Sri Lanka. He acknowledged that the people have entrusted the new President with the significant responsibility of bringing about the necessary changes in the country, a task that may prove to be challenging. The Cardinal assured the President of his full support and blessings in the endeavour and urged him to prioritize the needs of the poor in his efforts. In response to a journalist's question, the Cardinal mentioned that the President had assured him of his commitment to thoroughly investigate the Easter attacks and to take steps towards uncovering the truth.
ජනාධිපතිතුමා අපිට පැහැදිලිවම ප්‍රතිඥාවක් දුන්නා. එතුමාගේ උපරිම ශක්තියෙන් මේ ගැන සොයා බැලීමට සහ මේකේ සත්‍යය එළිදරව් කර ගැනීමට අවශ්‍ය පදනම සකස් කරලා දෙනවා කියලා. එහෙමනේ.
And following this visit, President Dissanayake also visited the Devatagaha Mosque in Colombo, where he participated in religious ceremonies and received blessings.
ولا الله إلا أسلك وحديت ولا حسن صلى الله على
Many world leaders have extended their congratulations to the newly appointed President Anurak Kumar Dissanayake to strengthen the relations with Sri Lanka. Sharing a post on X, President of France Emmanuel Macron has extended his wishes to the new Sri Lankan president. He has indicated that France is ready to improve the bilateral cooperation with Sri Lanka based on trust and partnership. The Crown Prince and the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, has also congratulated the President Anurak Kumar Dissanayake in a post shared on X account of the Foreign Ministry of Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, President of United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, has congratulated the new President of Sri Lanka, Anurak Kumar Dissanayake, sharing a post on X. The UAE President has said he is ready to further strengthen the bilateral relations with the new Sri Lankan President. President of South Korea Yoon Suk Yeol has also extended his congratulations to the President Anurak Kumar Dissanayake, issuing a special statement. The South Korean president has said the bilateral relations will be further strengthened under the new leadership.
Commissioner General of Elections Samantri Ratnayaka says that the Election Commission is bound to hold general elections from any moment from the dissolution of Parliament within a time frame of 52 to 66 days. He expressed these views at a media briefing held in Colombo today. Commissioner General of Elections Amuria Ratnayaka said that the Election Commission is bound to hold elections from the date of the dissolution of Parliament within a time frame of 52 to 66 days. He said President would be issuing the notification regarding the dissolution of the Parliament under the signature of the President's Secretary. Accordingly, the Gazette notification will indicate the date of nominations, the date of the next general election and the next convening date of the new Parliament. He added that any legal discussion regarding the holding of the general election can be done after the issuance.
Several political parties express how they are progressing ahead with future plans, including preparations for the general election. Member of the National People's Power, Namal Karunaratne, said that the Parliament will be dissolved within a short period of time, yet after completing all the necessities. He said that the interim cabinet, which is the smallest in the country of Sri Lanka, has been formed for the operational purposes. He said that they are expecting to clinch significant victory at the elections and said that they expect a major change at the elections as well.
අනිවාර්යෙන් පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණේ පවත්වනවා. ඒ මැතිවරණෙන් අපි අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ජයග්‍රහණය කරනවා. මේ වෙනකොට වෙනත් පක්ෂවල ඡන්දෙ දුන්නා අය දුක් වෙනවා කිව්වා. මාලිමාවට ඡන්දෙ දෙන්න බැරි වෙච්ච එක ගැන කිව්වා. ඡන්දේ කාටවත් නොදුන්නා අය දුක් වෙන්න පටන් ගන්න තියෙනවා. මේ තත්වයන් එක්ක මේක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම එන මහමැතිවරණේදී සුවිශේෂී වෙනස්කමක් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම රටේ සිද්ධ වෙනවා කියන එකට අදාළව අපිට පැහැදිලිවම සාධක සහිතව කියන්න පුළුවන්. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා
Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Ruwan Wijewardena, said that the former President Ranil Wickremesinghe has reached a decision not to contest at the next election, nor will he enter the parliament through the national list. However, he said as a party senior, former president and leader of the party, Ranil Wickremesinghe will provide the necessary leadership to navigate the party at the election. Samagi Jana Balawege parliamentarian Tis Attanayake said that the former President Ranil Wickremesinghe faction has indicated that they will build an alliance together with SJB. However, he has said they are not in favour of this proposal. Samagi Jana Balawege parliamentarian Sajid Premadas said that all SJB electorate organisers and the parliamentary groups unanimously proposed to name him as the next prime ministerial candidate and to lead the election. Sri Lanka Posijana Permanent parliamentarian Ramal Rajapaksa says that as a party they are preparing for the next election. He said that they have directed their attention to the LPT elections and assured that they will be victorious. He said as a party several decisions were taken to whether to join the political forces. General Secretary of the Frontline Socialist Party, Kumar Gunaratnam, has said the previous traditional political regime should be defeated and no space should be left for them to rebuild at the next election. He said that the people elected National People's Power with 42 to 43% of the votes as a lesson for the political leaders. He has said this trend should be continued.
According to election observers, the presidential election of this year will be recorded as an important democratic process due to a number of positive reasons. They expressed these views to the national television.
Announce this is the largest peaceful elections ever had in Sri Lanka. We didn't get any serious complaints during campaigning period, cooling period, election day, as well as the post-election period. So far, we have not received any single complaints on this post-election period. So we as observer group, we are really happy in these elections. Compare with all our election experience, last 4 decades, this is the in our history, ever largest peaceful elections we had in Sri Lankan election history. So we wish to congratulate, we wish to appreciate all the political parties who has committed and supported for non-violent elections, peaceful elections. More especially thanks should goes to the police, even without the police, IGP, the police, the senior DIGs, and especially the senior DIG in charge of elections. They made their contributions, and also the elections commissions. They act very fastly. Both elections commissions and police has done a marvelous job during this election period. Also, we need to thank all the media and all other stakeholders, those who contribute to make this election success, especially to make these elections in a very peaceful manner. So there are certain areas where we need to address for future elections. I'm sure with the next 5 years period, before next presidential elections, we will be able to address those reforms agenda we have noticed that presidents, when he get out, he also mentioned with elections commissioners, the chairman of the commission's request. They have given a green light that they are ready to take up this reforms agenda within their 5 years term. So this is the time where everybody has to work together and build the nations. I'm sure that the president of this country need to get support across the political party and the civil society, as well as the trade union and also the government officials. They need to manage, they need to deal, they need to negotiate with all the stakeholders to build this country and overcome this economic crisis. So without working together, without working collectively, it will be very, very challenging, very difficult to overcome the situation. So I'm sure that everybody will support the government, and I'm sure that the president and his team will open the doors for rest of the parties and rest of the peoples to get engaged with the government and build the nations within the next 5 years period.
Regarding concluded 9th presidential election, we are in a post-election situation. However, as election observers, we can say that we have not received any of election-related violence, as well as there's no election violation, elections law violations also. Then, therefore, this is a remarkable achievement, and as international observers also correctly mention, this election can be something learned not only for us, even for other foreign countries, because we have not received any of incidents related to election violence, as well as all the political party leaders, as well as the new incumbent president also not promoting any of violence, and he always, after he took oaths, he has instructed to all of his supporters as well as all citizens to be calm and respect to the law and order of Sri Lanka. This is something we were expecting for decades. This is 9th election, presidential election of Sri Lanka since the 20th October of 1982. Up to now, we have not seen this kind of incidents, this kind of situation in Sri Lanka, because this post-election period is very calm and so peaceful. Therefore, we urge to people that please be calm, please be peaceful, and celebrate yourself this victory. Otherwise, if you are going to street and if you are going to meet other peoples and you may be partners of violation of election laws. Therefore, we should appreciate efforts taken by both Sri Lanka Police as well as Election Commission of Sri Lanka. They have done their job, and a tremendous commitment as well as efforts they have taken to fulfill this remarkable achievement, as well as Sri Lankans. We can be happy because we just concluded a peaceful and calm election.
At least 558 people have been killed in Israel's bombardment of various parts of Lebanon.
And Hezbollah has fired a barrage of missiles at Israeli air bases in response.
Meanwhile, world leaders and United Nations call for urgent de-escalation. 50 children and 94 women are among the killed. Lebanese Health Ministry has indicated that over 1,800 people were injured in the blast. This is the deadliest day of the conflict in Lebanon since 1975 to 1990 war. The thousands of families have also fled their homes in southern Lebanon, as Israeli military said it hit 1,600 Hezbollah targets in an operation to destroy the infrastructure that the armed groups had built up since 2006 war. Some attacks have hit residential areas of the towns in the south and Debeka Valley in the east of Lebanon. Hezbollah, meanwhile, has launched more than 200 rockets into northern Israel. According to foreign reports, Israel has said most were intercepted, but there have been some damages to buildings. Foreign reports have indicated that Hezbollah has claimed the attacks on Israel will continue until Gaza's ceasefire. Fears of an all-out regional conflict in the Middle East have grown since the series of exploding devices attacks on Hezbollah members. World powers have urgently restrained on both sides to appear spiraling closer to an all-out war. The Sri Lankan embassy in Israel has issued an advisory urging all Sri Lankans regarding Israel to remain cautious in light of the escalating conflict between Israel and Lebanon. The embassy assured that no Sri Lankans have been reported injured so far, but emphasized the need for vigilance. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan embassy in Lebanon has introduced helpline to Sri Lankan citizens residing in the country who are in distress due to the escalating conflict with Israel. The Sri Lankan embassy in Lebanon urged Sri Lankans to contact the hotline for any assistance.
The remains of veteran Sri Lankan traditional dancer, choreographer and teacher Dr. Vajra Chitrasena have been kept at a private funeral parlour in Borala for public respect. The final rites of the late veteran artist will be held at the Borala Cemetery at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Veteran artist Dr. Vajra Chitrasena was born on the 15th of March in 1932 in Kalutara. She was an exceptional dancer who took the Sri Lankan dance form to the international stage. She was also considered as the first ballet dancer in Sri Lanka. She was also the first Sinhalese woman who became a professional in the Kandyan dance form. She contributed immensely to the betterment of the Sri Lankan dance craft for many decades. She was the beloved wife of veteran ballet dancer late Deshamanya Chitrasena. She was also a mother of 3 children. Being one of the senior dance performers of the Chitrasena Dance Company, which was commenced in 1944, she portrayed the character Jalia in the drama Vesantara while schooling. A few of her career milestones were the character of Deer in Ramayana in 1949, Hansadenu, a character in Nala Damayanti drama, the character Sisi in Karadiya drama in 1961, and Puja performance in Ravana in 1941. She also pioneered in introducing children's ballet through Kumudini Children's Ballet performance in 1952. She also produced many Sri Lankan ballet performances, including Ran Kikili, Gini Hora, Hapana and Sepalika. She was bestowed with many international awards and was also bestowed with the Padma Shri title from India for her contributions in taking the Sri Lankan dance traditions to the international stage. She was 92 years of age at the time of her demise.
Final rites of the veteran artist, critic and lyricist late W. Jayasiri was conducted at the Borala Public Cemetery this evening. Many artists and others representing various sectors were present at this occasion. Late W. Jayasiri was able to showcase his acting skills in all sectors of cinema, television and stage drama throughout his decades-long career. Many were present at the funeral parlour in Colombo, where his remains were kept to show their last respects. Subsequently, the remains were taken to the Borala Cemetery for final rites this evening. We'll be back with foreign news after a short break.
Welcome back after the break and news overseas. India has reported its first case with a new monkeypox strain that has triggered a public health emergency alert by the World Health Organization.
Term Clade 1b, the new variant, is highly transmissible and has been linked to the monkeypox outbreak in Africa. According to media reports, the strain has been detected in a 38-year-old individual from the southern state of Kerala who returned from Dubai recently. Monkeypox, Mpox, previously known as monkeypox, is a contagious virus that can cause painful skin lesions. The World Health Organization declared Mpox, which is called monkeypox, a public health emergency in Africa in August. Since then, more dangerous variants of the virus have spread across countries outside the African continent, including Sweden, Thailand and Pakistan.
Meanwhile, a 5 to 6 magnitude earthquake hit near Japan's distant Izu Islands today. Following the quake, Japan's meteorological agency issued a tsunami alert, forecasting waves of up to 1 meter for the Izu Islands. The quake's epicenter was located roughly 180 kilometers south of the island. While most residents reported they did not feel the tremors, a small tsunami measuring about 50 centimeters was observed in the Yen district of Hachiyo Island, about 300 kilometers south of Tokyo. There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries, though tsunami warnings were issued to those living on the Hachiyo Island. At least 30 decomposing bodies have been found on a boat off the coast of Senegal, according to its army. The Navy was informed of a vessel that was adrift about 70 kilometers from the capital Dakar. They brought the wooden canoe or Prigo into port yesterday, and recovery, identification and transfer operations are being made extremely delicate by the advanced state of decomposition of the bodies, according to the statement issued by the Senegalese army.
Introducing Prima Kottumi Korean Ramen. Let's fire it up.
Now on to sports news. In a match played at the National Super League one-day cricket tournament played at R. Premdas Stadium today, the Colombo team defeated the Double team. Batting first, Double scored 215 for 43.5 overs all out. Guy Veerasinghe scored 77 runs, while bowling Nisala Tharaka and Dilum Sudhira shared 3 wickets each. In reply, Colombo team reached the victory, scoring 219 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 43.3 overs. Ashin Bandara scored 39 and Khalidin Adishan 33. Colombo won the match by 3 wickets.
Introducing Prima Kottumi Korean Ramen. Let's fire it up.
That's it for tonight's English News telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.